Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
So many questions tonight as the Northside Independent School District investigates the death of a 73-year-old teaching assistant.
Alfred Jimenez, who everyone knew as Mr. Fred, died this weekend after he was hurt in a classroom earlier this month. NISD released a statement saying, quote, the injury occurred while the employee was attempting to redirect a student. In the course of the interaction with that student, the employee fell to the floor and sustained a head injury, end quote. We know that Mr. Fred worked with special needs students, but we don't have any more details as to exactly what happened. But this is a reminder. Teachers don't have easy jobs.
The Night Team's John Paul Badajas spoke with a former NISD employee who said that at times it even got dangerous.
Steve, Stefania, the woman we spoke with today, said she was heartbroken when she heard about what happened to Mr. Fred. Several years ago, she worked in the same school as him and also worked with special needs students. And she described what she went through.
On an everyday basis, you would be kicked, you would be spit on, you would be scratched, you would be punched. You would have to run after these children.
How do you manage all that on a daily basis?
Well, I don't work there anymore. Does that answer that question?
Now, she didn't want to share her identity, but she spoke with us because she wants people to know what she experienced. She says her thoughts and prayers are with the Jimenez family and hopes schools do more to help their teachers.
It's a wonderful calling, and there are a lot of great kids. I met a lot of wonderful kids that I enjoyed working with. But it's a very difficult world, and that's why there's a lot of turnover.
Again, we've emailed and sent texts to representatives from NISD. We've asked for more information as to what led to Mr. Fred's death. They told us because they're still investigating what happened, they can't share a police report from that incident. Steve, Stefania.
John Paul, thank you. Now to our continued coverage on Bexar County DA Joe Gonzalez and his dealings with the Wren Collective, a third-party criminal justice reform group. Today, the district attorney was in Commissioner's Court discussing an update on his high-risk intake reduction plan. That's when Commissioner Grant Moody asked the DA about his relationship with the reform group and whether or not that group has had any influence on criminal charges that were brought in Bexar County.
There's been some reporting locally about communications with the Wren Collective and other groups. Can you speak to that and make clear whether third-party groups are impacting charging decisions here in Bexar County?
I will tell you, and I will tell this entire court, that nobody makes decisions outside my office. I am the one that makes those ultimate decisions. Nobody has any influence other than having had some messaging recommendations.
We've been following this story for several weeks, and there's a lot to unpack here. To get a full breakdown of this story, you can head to KSAT.com and look for this article.
Tonight, the search for this little girl right here has come to a tragic end. The body of 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham was recovered from the Trinity River near Livingston today, and police say the girl's family in Livingston near Houston reported her missing last Thursday after she didn't come home after school. And now 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal is going to likely be charged with capital murder. Our sister station KPRC reports that McDougal was the last person to be seen with Cunningham before she disappeared. Authorities say that he's a friend of Audrey's father and lived in a camper on the family property. Now, this is still a developing story, so stay with us as we work to get you more information.
Have you seen this video on social media today? It was posted by ESPN. We showed it to you at 5 and 6. It shows members of the University of the Incarnate Word men's basketball team getting into a fist fight with members of the Texas A&M Commerce basketball team after their overtime game last night. Broadcasters at the game said a young girl was hurt. A team employee had blood on his face. Both schools, as well as the Southland Conference, are now looking into what led up to the fight. UIW and Texas A&M Commerce released a joint statement apologizing for the players' actions and their behavior. They say it does not reflect the values of either university. Officials with the Southland Conference, which both schools are members of, say it's gathering video from all angles and that disciplinary action will be taken after that footage is reviewed. We emailed UIW this morning. A spokesperson emailed us back telling us the school will not comment until after the Southland Conference is done with its investigation and its viewing of that fight.
In other news tonight, lots of frustration from people who help teens in our community recover from addiction.
Yeah, they need money to do that, and they say there is money out there. It just hasn't gotten to them yet.
Yeah, the Night Team's Patty Santos tells us where it is.
These pictures were taken when Ryan York was deep in his addiction to heroin, meth, oxycodone, and other drugs. When he walked into Rise Recovery's high school, he wasn't sure he'd live to see the next day.
The first day I stepped foot in Rise Recovery, I was very scared. I was lonely, and I didn't know that I would survive.
Fast forward 2 years later, the now 17-year-old has a high school diploma and a job at the very nonprofit that helped turn his life around.
You feel good today? You have plans for tomorrow?
I do, and I look forward to tomorrow.
Rise Recovery made a difference in his entire family.
My father was an addict himself. He was an alcoholic. And through this program, he had recognized his own alcoholism, and he's 18 months of sobriety today.
A wonderful outcome that Evita Maureen worries some people are missing out on.
I've been to too many funerals in San Antonio of kids who didn't get the help they needed when they needed it.
Evita is the CEO of Rise Recovery and says there are millions of dollars on hold that could help many more families.
We continue to wait, and teenagers continue to die. And that is not okay.
Bexar County got $14.5 million from lawsuit settlements with opioid manufacturers and distributors. About $1.5 million was used to provide Narcan to Bexar County sheriff deputies and to double substance use treatment for women in Casa Mia. But nearly a dozen agencies like Rise Recovery, Alpha Home, and Lifetime are still waiting to get some of the millions left over.
We are not yet hearing about when a due date, deadline, formal application process, review, anything is going to happen around the opioid litigation funding.
KSAT emailed the Commissioner's Court to ask about the holdup. We haven't heard back. In the meantime, Rise Recovery hopes to make do with funding from other places like the federal government, which the county will decide on next month.
I know you guys never turn people away here, but how much more could you do if you had extra funding?
We could serve thousands more kids if we could receive the opioid funding that is necessary to address this epidemic in a real way.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
To go to your Nightbeat Newsflash right now, frozen embryos now considered children under a new state law in Alabama. The state Supreme Court issuing that ruling following 2 wrongful death cases involving couples that had frozen embryos destroyed in an accident at a fertility clinic. Those justices say a state law from 1872 allows parents to sue over the death of a minor child, and that applies to, quote, all unborn children, regardless of their location, end quote. If you plan on becoming a U.S. citizen soon, the cost to do so is about to go up. Applications for citizenship will cost $760 starting April 1st. It's up $120 from the current version of the N-400 paperwork, which is still $640. Green card costs are also going up as well. So immigration attorneys are urging anyone wanting to get started on their path to citizenship, start before April 1st. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash. I want to show you some brand new technology. It is the only one of its kind right here in San Antonio.
Okay, so you see this right here? That is a stuffed animal, and that robotic arm that you see right there, that's controlling it. The arm is also known as Vinci down at Christus Children's Hospital. Now, Vinci was designed for child patients in mind. So what's the benefit to having a surgery done by a robot? Well, according to the surgeons at Christus, there's less pain, recovery time is quicker. And by the way, the surgeons are the ones who control Vinci.
And I control the whole robot through a separate area that I sit over in the other side of the operating room. So a lot of people worry that the robot is going to do the surgery itself. No, the surgeon does the surgery with the robotic technology.
Yeah, it's advanced. It's not that advanced. Dr. Ann O'Connor went on to say children deserve to have the most advanced technology available to them when it comes to their health care. And Vinci delivers that. Almost looks like 4 different robotic arms there that are hanging down.
No, for sure. I mean, it is pretty cool though. But the thing that got me was that they were talking about how it's less pain, less recovery time. You're thinking if you have a child who goes through surgery, that's exactly what you want. You don't want your kid going through pain.
It's less invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right, let's talk about something else.
Yes. Now coming up, more than 250,000 people in Bexar County have diabetes. We've told you that. Now, that disease can lead to big complications like amputations, but if you have diabetes, you don't have to lose your limbs. And next on the Nightbeat, the changes that you can make and the programs that are out there locally to keep you healthy.
Could save your life. Coronavirus still here in Bexar County, but the good news is the number of cases on a downward trend. These are the latest numbers released at 4:30 this afternoon. The county reporting just a little more than 1,200 new COVID-19 cases here at home. There are still no new deaths to report, but as you can see, that is a downward trend in what we're seeing.
Ahora me cuido más que nada.
So that is Carlos Aguilar. You heard his story last night on the Nightbeat. He has diabetes and recently came very close to getting part of his foot amputated. So he turned things around. He ate more healthful food, he lost weight, he got medical attention, and he saved his foot.
Yeah, way to go, Carlos. Now, doctors in Bexar County want to see more people like him. Too many people in our community are losing their limbs because of complications from diabetes.
But here's the thing, though. There are things that you can do to stay healthy and avoid amputations.
Let's talk numbers. According to the San Antonio Metropolitan Health District, more than 280,000 people in Bexar County have diabetes. And the best way to prevent complications from the illness is to eat a healthy diet, exercise regularly, check your blood sugar, and take your medicine correctly. Dr. John Hogg, radiologist and founder of the Medical Vein Clinic in San Antonio, recommends that diabetics do two other things: check their feet and legs.
If your legs are heavy or swelling or you see bulging veins, if you're starting to see discoloration, a lot of people start getting this dark brown. That's from red blood cells that have died in your leg because the veins couldn't move them back uphill to get oxygen.
More than 60% of his patients at the Medical Vein Clinic have diabetes, so he says helping patients avoid amputations is a key part of his job.
The treatment is we close that bad vein, and so that it's not doing that. Rather than taking out, we just get it to shrivel up, and we have you on a walking program afterwards, and you generate your new pathways through existing little veins.
Here's something else. Men are more likely than women to get amputations as a result of diabetes. That's why San Antonio Metro Health started something called the Diabetes Garage.
And it uses car analogies to explain diabetes care and maintenance.
Julius Hunter coordinates the program. He wants you to think of the Diabetes Garage as a club. It's exclusively for men in Bexar County. Members gather for a series of free workshops over 4 weeks so they can learn how to prevent or manage diabetes.
What do you do when that check engine light comes on? Usually most people's response is, hey, well, I need to go take it to the mechanic. Same thing with your body. It's important to go and get those things checked at your doctor.
In keeping with the car theme, the men who attend the workshops also get a literal toolbox just like this. And yes, some things inside actually are for their vehicles, but other items also serve a function. They have a purpose, like this car mirror, which diabetics can use to check the bottom of their feet for sores.
Like the one Carlos Aguilar had and got rid of after he got medical care and changed his diet.
You help.
Absolutely.
You know, we did this story because we want you to know that there is help out there, and there are places where you can go to learn more about how to manage diabetes, a huge problem in Bexar County. The flyer that you see there on your screen is inviting you to the Diabetes Garage. Now, if you want to register for a workshop, just look for this article on our website, KSAT.com.
If the warning light comes on, go see your doctor. That's the first step. And by the way, it's kind of like a fight club, except you're fighting diabetes.
Does that get you excited?
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a fight club. You don't talk about the fight club.
Yeah, it's exclusively for men.
You gotta fight diabetes.
Well, in that case, they do want you to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now a live look outside, 66 degrees. And, you know, same thing as today. I think it's all week, right? We're going to be dealing with fog in the morning.
Yeah, we're going to be dealing with fog, and the fog is even going to last longer than what we saw this morning. We had some fog out there this morning, but it quickly dissipated. Tomorrow, the fog's going to stick around for a bit longer. Daily morning fog and clouds for us. We have yet to hit 80 degrees officially at the San Antonio International Airport, but we are going to see that first 80-degree day here pretty soon. And in fact, it's a little behind schedule. We usually see our first 80-degree day in early February. Now, we'll have a nice weekend with low humidity, so that's something to look forward to. Outside right now with the almanac, you can see that temperatures were just above freezing by about above freezing, Thankfully, we were not anywhere near freezing this morning. We were at 43 degrees. Our high temperature was well above average for this time of year when we got up to 77 degrees. As we take a look at the futurecast visibility, we are going to have areas of fog tomorrow. As I mentioned, visibility will be less than half a mile in many places. So as you're planning your morning commute tomorrow, give yourself a little extra time to get to where you need to go. That fog will be dense in places, but very quickly we'll be looking at that fog clearing. We're going to have sunny skies in the afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful day. So here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Foggy in the morning, mid-50s. And we'll be looking at clearing skies around noon, 67, and then the winds are going to pick up in the afternoon too. We'll see winds from the south sustained at about 15 miles per hour with a few gusts up to 25 miles per hour, and it's going to be warm. We'll be looking at a high of 78 degrees in San Antonio, but even warmer out to the west. 82 Del Rio, 84 in Carrizo Springs, 85 in Laredo, mid-70s across the hill country. It'll be 77 in Seguin and 78 in Floresville. So I think we'll just barely miss that 80-degree mark tomorrow, but we'll hit it on Thursday for sure. And we are not seeing any rain around Texas. All of the rain is around this low pressure system that's very dynamic. I mean, we're seeing rain all the way from Seattle down to San Diego, so a very potent low pressure system. Usually this would maybe mean some rain for us here in San Antonio, but this high pressure system is just stronger than that low, and high means dry, so we're going to be seeing all the rain go up and over San Antonio and Texas in the coming days, and it's a bit of a heat high too. So as it builds overhead, we're going to be looking at a warmer day on Thursday. High temperature of 83 degrees on Thursday. That's going to be our first 80-degree day in San Antonio for 2024. Then we see a front move through right before the weekend that allows for low humidity to move in. It's going to be a pretty nice weekend for us. We're going to be looking at chilly mornings, comfortable afternoons in the low 70s, and then highs will be back into the 80s next week. So a spring-like forecast to end February. Unfortunately, we still need some rain, and there's no major rain chances in our near future. Right. Stephanie, Steve?
Fingers still crossed for that. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. You want to talk about some big games. Mm-hmm. And apparently they were very entertaining games. I heard Nick Mantis yelling about it in the newsroom about, can you believe the games I just went to?
No, seriously, you'll see exactly why he was up in arms when he got back from Davenport. We had a couple of instant classics go down at Davenport High School. We'll show you the highlights right after the break. Plus, Texas freshman sensation Madison Booker is reeling in all the Big 12 awards and making history along the way. Coming up right after the break. The madness of the high school basketball playoffs has already arrived. Tonight, the Clark girls basketball team takes on foe Steele in the Class 6A regional finals. Buckle up for a heated battle inside the Davenport gym. First quarter on the fast break, Steele's Jasmine Travis lays one in off the glass, but Clark is still in front by 3 and adding to it. Inbound pass to Ariana Roberson, and Roberson with the catch and release before touching the ground. Wow, it was a 3-point game at halftime, third quarter. Clark's Cameron Griffin stands her ground in the paint for the and one. Griffin's forced turnover led to that opportunity to begin with. Later in the third, Clark's star point guard, Natalie Huff, takes an elbow to the nose. She got it pretty bad, but fast forward to the final minute of the game, Cougars up 2. Roberson with a clutch block forces Steele to foul, and Huff nails her free throws to put the Cougars up by 4. So Steele's last second triple wouldn't matter, and Clark advances in the 6A bracket with the 41-40 victory over the Knights. Still alive to defend their title, and they couldn't have done it without Natalie Huff's toughness.
She's a very tough point guard. Nat, that's what she's known for. She's a tough little girl. You know, when she got hit, we didn't want to get scrambled, can't get frantic out there, so we had to keep our composure, play our game still. We knew that she would be back because she's a tough one, and that's what she did, and she hit those game-winning free throws for us, so it was big.
Man, such a great game. All right, to the nightcap now. The East Central boys basketball team taking on Reagan in the 6A by-district championship. First quarter, Reagan's 6'7" guard Aiden Richard blows past his defender and finishes with the contested floater. Hornets with the quick answer. Jacob Stewart pulls up and rattles in a triple. This game went down to the final possession, just like the last. But in the end, East Central Stewart played hero, hitting the game winner to win 42-41, advancing in the 6A bracket. Texas women's basketball forward Madison Booker is just the second player to sweep Big 12 weekly honors in the last decade. Booker was named the Big 12 Player and Freshman of the Week, scoring in double figures in 16 straight games, averaging 20.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists on the 5th-ranked team in the country, by the way. UT women's basketball head coach Vic Schaefer says Booker may be 18 years old, but she has the presence of a 25-year-old on the court.
Pretty special, but we all know, we've been watching it all year. The kid is really special, and I think our team has really embraced her and her role and the responsibility that she has, and they're all doing their part to help her along, and she's just gotten more and more comfortable as the season's gone on, and I think that's evident in her play. And so we'll get ready for a tough ball game tomorrow night.
And tomorrow night, UT faces Texas Tech for the second time this season. Texas won the first meeting 74-47, but the Longhorns are preparing for an improved Red Raiders team this far into the season. Tech was last held to 32 points by 21st-ranked Baylor. All right, after the break, this evening's bull riding at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. We'll be right back.
Streaming now.
We're about $500 to $600 a month on water usage.
Their water bill more than doubled from one month to the next after a pipe sprung a leak.
We had a break. The ground movement happens all over San Antonio. A few weeks later, we get a bill in the mail for 1 million gallons of water, $15,580.
That's just ridiculous.
They've been bullying us, intimidating us.
Now SAWS says it's time to pay up or have the water shut off. KSAT investigates the water company's policies on outrageously high bills.
Streaming now on these platforms.
Welcome back. It's time we check in with the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo for some bull riding. Let's start by showing you the best ride of the night. It was Cody Teal taken for a wild ride by Surprise turning fast, but Teal stays on and he earns a score of 88 for that beauty. And as you can imagine, that was good enough to finish atop the leaderboard. All right, next, the second best 8-second ride of the night and the matchup of the night. Parker Bredding riding Dim Tricks, and that bull threw out all the tricks, but nothing could buck him off. Bredding earns a score of 82. We had 3 full rides tonight.
Well, that's good because we were just getting like 1.
I know, it's tough.
Must be some tough bulls.
There's some tough bulls. This sport is no joke. I wish I moved to Texas sooner to have a higher IQ of bull riding. I'm just starting right now.
Yeah, it's a tough sport.
It is.
But I do like some of the names of the bulls.
Always, it's just nail biting. Oh, especially last night's.
No, I like, my favorite one so far has been Adam's Moneymaker.
Okay.
Sarah agrees.
Okay.
We'll be right back.